Have you ever wondered why, even though you try to eat balanced meals, keep yourself active, and maybe even take vitamins, your body still feels weaker than it used to? Maybe climbing a set of stairs leaves you catching your breath when once it felt effortless. Maybe standing up quickly from a chair makes your legs feel shaky, almost as if they can't quite support you anymore. And maybe you've noticed that carrying a grocery bag or getting out of bed in the morning feels heavier, slower, and more draining than it should. This is not just about getting older. It's about something very real and very preventable: the gradual loss of muscle that happens silently with age. By the time you turn 50, your body begins losing muscle every single year, and unless you take specific steps to fight back, by the age of 70, you could lose nearly half of the muscle mass you once had. That's what makes simple daily tasks feel impossible. And it's why so many people find themselves depending on others or even moving into nursing homes far earlier than they ever imagined. But here's the truth I want you to hold on to. This decline is not inevitable. It does not have to define your future. You can turn the clock back on muscle loss, regain the strength that feels like it's slipping away, and hold on to your independence for many more years. And the most surprising part? The answer doesn't lie in complicated treatments, expensive supplements, or hours in the gym. It lies in simple, natural, everyday foods that you can add to your meals starting today. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 5 powerful foods that can transform your strength, protect your balance, and help you feel steady and confident again. But before I share them all, let me warn you. The 5th food on this list is one that most people overlook completely, and yet, it might be the most powerful of all. By the time you reach that part of this journey, you'll understand why it could change everything for you. So stay with me until the very end of this series, because what I am about to share with you could help you bring back 10 to 15 pounds of healthy muscle, give you the confidence to move through your day with energy, and maybe even feel like you did 20 years ago. I make you this promise, not as a motivational speaker, but as a physician who has dedicated his career to working with older adults. My name is Dr. Martin, and welcome to Senior Thrive. Over the years, I've seen thousands of men and women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond regain strength they thought was gone forever. More than 80% of my patients have noticed measurable improvements in energy, stability, and muscle mass simply by including the foods I am going to share with you. And today, we begin with the first 2. Let's start with something that may surprise you: sardines. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Sardines are small, they come in a can, and they may not look like much. But these tiny fish hold an incredible secret that your muscles desperately need as you age. When you're young, your body manages minerals like calcium and magnesium almost effortlessly. These are the minerals that allow your muscles to contract when you take a step and then relax so they're ready for the next one. But as you get older, your body burns through these minerals faster, and you need more of them to keep your muscles firing properly. That's where sardines come in. A single can, with the soft bones still inside, delivers a generous boost of calcium and magnesium in a natural, highly absorbable form. No harsh supplements, no stress on your liver or kidneys, just a food that gives your muscles what they're craving. But sardines don't stop there. They're loaded with protein, the building block that repairs and rebuilds your muscle tissue after every movement. They contain omega-3 fats that reduce inflammation in aging muscles, keeping them flexible and strong. And they're rich in vitamin D, which helps your body actually use the calcium you're consuming. That combination, protein, minerals, omega-3s, and vitamin D, makes sardines one of the most complete muscle foods on Earth. Research shows that older adults who get enough of these nutrients not only maintain their strength longer, but also lower their risk of sarcopenia, the dangerous muscle-wasting condition that leads to weakness and falls. I'll never forget a patient of mine named Harold Bennett, a retired teacher in his early 70s. Harold came to me frustrated because he had started avoiding the staircase in his own home. His legs felt too shaky, and he confessed he even thought about moving to a single-story apartment. His daughter had noticed that he leaned heavily on railings whenever they went out together. After evaluating him, I realized Harold wasn't just losing muscle. His body was starved of the minerals that support muscle contraction. Instead of handing him a bottle of pills, I suggested something simple: add sardines to his lunch 3 times a week. Within 2 months, Harold was not only climbing his staircase again, but he was also walking his dog around the neighborhood with renewed confidence. He joked with me that his granddaughter started calling him the sardine man, but deep down he was proud. What changed? His muscles were finally getting the calcium, magnesium, and protein they had been missing, all from a food he could easily keep in his pantry. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about how your meals could be silently draining or feeding your strength? What foods are already in your kitchen that might help or hurt your muscles? Drop a comment below and share, because I truly want to know how you're fueling your body each day. The second food I want to share with you today is one that has been eaten for thousands of years around the world, but is often underestimated in modern diets: lentils. If sardines give your muscles the minerals they need to contract and relax, lentils give them the fuel to thrive day after day. Think of your muscles as both engines and guardians. They not only allow you to move, but also protect your body from some of the most dangerous health threats of aging, like diabetes. Here's why. Your muscles are the place where your body disposes of excess glucose, the sugar in your blood. If your muscles can't take in that glucose, it lingers in your bloodstream, leading to high blood sugar levels and eventually type 2 diabetes. And once diabetes sets in, it can cause slow-healing wounds, nerve damage, and even amputations. That's why protecting your muscle strength is not just about mobility, it's about survival. Lentils are a powerhouse food in this fight. They are rich in soluble fiber, which slows down how quickly sugar enters your blood, keeping your energy steady and protecting your body from dangerous spikes. They are packed with plant protein, giving your muscles the raw material they need to repair and rebuild after every effort. They provide magnesium, which makes your muscles more sensitive to insulin, helping them pull sugar out of your bloodstream more effectively. And because they have a low glycemic index, lentils release their energy slowly, keeping you fueled for hours without crashes. Multiple studies have shown that older adults who regularly eat lentils and other legumes lower their long-term blood sugar markers and improve their body's response to insulin. That means stronger muscles, steadier energy, and less risk of the chronic diseases that rob so many people of their independence. I remember working with a woman named Clara Mendoza, a 68-year-old former seamstress who loved making clothes for her grandchildren. Clara came to me tired and discouraged.
She told me, "Dr. Martin, I eat my meals, but I feel drained all the time. My doctor says my blood sugar is creeping up, and I can't even finish sewing without my hands feeling heavy."
We decided to make one small change: add a warm bowl of lentil soup to her lunch every other day. Within weeks, Clara told me her energy was returning. She was able to sew for longer stretches without her hands cramping, and her latest blood work showed her glucose levels were stabilizing. Months later, she proudly showed me pictures of dresses she had made for her granddaughter's school recital. What made the difference? Her muscles were finally getting the steady fuel and fiber they needed, and her body was responding. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you had lentils? Are beans or legumes part of your regular diet? Or have they been pushed aside by processed foods? Share your answer below. I want to know how you're approaching this, because sometimes the simplest ingredients make the biggest difference. Together, sardines and lentils form a powerful foundation. One gives your muscles the minerals and protein they need to function, while the other helps stabilize your blood sugar and provide lasting fuel. Imagine what your life could feel like if your muscles weren't just holding on but actually growing stronger again. Imagine climbing your staircase without hesitation, or carrying your groceries without feeling like your arms might give way. Imagine being able to keep up with your grandchildren in the park, or take a walk with your spouse without worrying about fatigue. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's the reality that I've seen countless times in my patients who made these simple changes. And yet we're just getting started. Because while sardines and lentils are powerful, there are still more foods that can unlock your body's ability to rebuild muscle and restore your vitality. In the next part of this journey, I'm going to introduce you to 2 more ingredients that can completely change how your body absorbs protein and uses energy. One of them is a tropical fruit that acts like a secret digestive helper, and the other is a familiar snack that can fuel your muscles more effectively than many so-called energy drinks. You don't want to miss this, because these next foods might be the missing key that allows your body to finally turn the meals you're already eating into real, usable strength. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, and share in the comments. Which of these first 2 foods, sardines or lentils, are you most excited to try? Your journey to stronger muscles and renewed independence has only just begun. When we left off, I promised you that the next 2 foods I was about to share could change the way your body actually uses the meals you already eat. Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you put healthy food on your plate if your body can't break it down, absorb it, and send it where it's needed most, into your muscles. This is one of the most overlooked reasons why many older adults continue losing muscle, even though they think they're eating the right way. They eat protein at breakfast. They try to include healthy foods at lunch and dinner, and yet their bodies remain weak. Their strength continues to fade, and they feel more tired every single week. And that disconnect between what you eat and what your muscles actually receive is at the heart of why so many people feel stuck. The truth is, your muscles are hungry for fuel, but they can only use what your body delivers to them. If digestion slows down, if absorption isn't efficient, or if your body struggles to handle the nutrients properly, then your muscles starve no matter how much food you put on your plate. That's where our third food enters the picture, and it's one that comes straight from nature's tropical gardens: papaya. Now, papaya may not be the first fruit that comes to mind when you think about muscle health. You might associate it with sweetness, with being a refreshing snack on a warm day, or maybe even with vacation memories. But inside this bright orange fruit is a remarkable natural enzyme called papain. And papain has the ability to transform how your body uses protein. Imagine you sit down to a breakfast of eggs or a dinner of chicken and beans. Those foods are rich in protein, but if your stomach can't fully break them down, the amino acids, the building blocks your muscles need, never make it into your bloodstream in the amounts they should. Instead, you feel bloated, heavy, and tired, and your muscles continue losing ground. Papaya changes that. Papain acts like a gentle helper in your stomach, breaking proteins into smaller, usable pieces, so your muscles can grab them quickly and put them to work. That means when you eat your usual meals and add papaya afterward, you're not just feeding your taste buds, you're unlocking the full potential of the food. You're allowing your muscles to actually receive the nourishment they've been missing. On top of that, papaya is rich in fiber, which keeps digestion smooth, vitamin C, which calms inflammation, and antioxidants, which support recovery after movement. It's also gentle on the stomach, which is so important for older adults who may experience indigestion more often. I once worked with a man named Robert Collins, a 74-year-old retired postman, who came to me frustrated that he was eating his protein but still losing weight and strength. He told me, "Dr. Martin, I eat eggs in the morning, chicken at night, and beans during the week, but I feel bloated. I'm not gaining any strength, and I've lost nearly 12 pounds of muscle in less than a year." Robert was discouraged. His daughter noticed he struggled to carry even a small box, and he confessed he had stopped volunteering at the community center because he felt too weak to help with setting up tables and chairs. When I asked him about digestion, he admitted he often felt heavy and uncomfortable after meals, so much so that he avoided eating as much as he should. We made one simple change. I asked Robert to add a small serving of fresh papaya after breakfast and again after dinner. Within a couple of weeks, he reported that he felt lighter after meals and that the bloating had nearly disappeared. 3 months later, Robert returned to my office with a smile. He had regained nearly 10 pounds of healthy weight. His energy was back, and he proudly said he had rejoined the community center, even helping lift chairs again. "It's like my meals finally count," he told me, and he was right. His meals had always contained protein, but until papaya helped his body break it down, his muscles couldn't use it. Once that changed, his strength returned. Now let me turn the question to you. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right with your meals and still not seeing results? Do you sometimes feel heavy or bloated after eating, as if your body isn't really benefiting from what you just gave it? If so, you're not alone. Many people in their 60s and 70s share this exact struggle. Share your experience in the comments, because your story could help someone else realize they're not alone. The fourth food I want to share with you today might already be sitting in your fruit bowl: bananas. Bananas are so common, so familiar, that we sometimes overlook just how powerful they are. But for older adults who want to keep their muscles strong, bananas can make a real difference. Here's why. As you age, the muscles you carry are no longer just about appearance or athletic ability. They are about independence, being able to rise from a chair without struggling, to carry laundry across the room, or to steady yourself when you trip over the edge of a rug. These are the movements that protect your freedom. And the truth is, muscle mass in your 60s and 70s is one of the strongest predictors of how long and how well you will live. Bananas play a role here because they provide quick, natural energy that helps your muscles perform these movements and recover afterward. Bananas are rich in natural sugars and starches that your body can convert into fuel almost immediately. This is particularly important for seniors who may feel drained during light exercise or even simple resistance movements like standing from a chair. On top of that, bananas are one of the best natural sources of potassium, the mineral that prevents painful cramps and allows your muscles to contract properly. If you've ever experienced a sudden muscle cramp in your leg or foot that stopped you in your tracks, you know how disruptive it can be. Bananas help prevent that. They also contain fiber, which slows digestion just enough to give you steady energy without a crash. There's something wonderfully practical about bananas too. They're soft, easy to chew, and require no preparation. For older adults who may have difficulty with harder foods or who simply want something quick, bananas are the perfect solution. In fact, studies have shown that older adults who ate bananas before light activity experienced better endurance and less fatigue. Other research even showed bananas worked as well as sports drinks for energy, but without all the added sugar and artificial chemicals. I'll never forget working with a woman named Margaret Lee, a 71-year-old former librarian who had always prided herself on staying active. But over time, Margaret noticed she was cutting her walks shorter and skipping her light yoga sessions because she felt drained halfway through. She told me, "Doctor, I start strong, but I fizzle out. It's embarrassing because I used to be the one leading the group and now I'm the one lagging behind." Instead of suggesting complicated supplements, I encouraged her to add one banana about 30 minutes before her walk, paired with a spoonful of peanut butter for extra protein. 2 weeks later, Margaret came back glowing. She said, "I finished my walk and still had energy to spare. I even stayed for coffee afterward without feeling wiped out." Within a couple of months, she was back to leading her yoga class and enjoying her outings again. That simple combination of quick energy and muscle-building protein made all the difference. Think about your own daily routine. Have you ever had to stop halfway through an activity you used to finish with ease? Do you sometimes feel like you start with energy but then crash too quickly? If that sounds familiar, adding something as simple as a banana could be your answer. Share your thoughts below. What activities have you had to give up because your energy just doesn't last? Together, papaya and bananas form a powerful pair. One helps your body unlock the protein you're already eating, ensuring your muscles can actually use it. The other provides immediate fuel and crucial minerals to keep your muscles working smoothly and recovering faster. This means not only can you regain strength, but you can also sustain it throughout the day, giving you the stamina to keep enjoying the things you love. But remember, we're still building towards something even more surprising. Because while papaya and bananas can unlock protein and provide energy, there is another food, our fifth and final one, that can literally change the way blood flows to your muscles, especially your legs. And if you've ever worried about falling, about losing your balance, or about your legs feeling heavy and unsteady, this last food could be the key to regaining control. In the next part of this journey, I'll introduce you to this often overlooked powerhouse and share the inspiring story of how it helped one of my patients reclaim her life after nearly giving up on her independence. You don't want to miss it. So tell me in the comments, between papaya and bananas, which one do you see yourself adding first to your daily routine? And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time, because the final chapter of this journey is going to reveal something that might surprise you and inspire you at the same time. Have you ever noticed how much of your daily independence depends on the strength of your legs? Think about it. Every single time you get out of bed, stand up from a chair, climb a staircase, or bend down to pick something up from the floor, you are asking your thigh and leg muscles to carry the load. And the truth is, these are the very muscles most likely to weaken as we age. In fact, research shows that the strength of your thighs is one of the clearest predictors of how long you will live. The stronger your thigh muscles are, the greater your chances of maintaining independence, balance, and a vibrant social life. Weak thighs, on the other hand, lead to reduced mobility, less circulation, weaker bones, and eventually, a higher risk of falls. That is exactly why the fifth ingredient in this series is so powerful. It's something most people overlook every single day, yet it has the potential to transform the way your muscles perform. And that ingredient is none other than beets, specifically beet juice. Now, you might not think of beets as a superfood. Maybe you remember them as that earthy vegetable on the edge of a salad plate or the canned slices at family gatherings. But here's the truth. When it comes to circulation, stamina, and muscle performance in older adults, beets are like rocket fuel for your body. And the reason lies in something hidden inside them, natural nitrates. When you consume beets, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide. That's a tiny molecule with a very big job, relaxing your blood vessels, improving circulation, and allowing more oxygen and nutrients to flow directly to your muscles. Why does that matter so much? Because as we get older, one of the biggest silent challenges we face is reduced circulation. Maybe you've noticed your feet or hands feeling colder than they used to, or your legs feeling heavier after walking just a short distance. That heaviness is your muscles crying out for better blood flow. By widening your blood vessels and improving circulation, beet juice helps deliver more oxygen to your muscles, especially those crucial thigh muscles that keep you steady and mobile. The result? Greater stamina, less fatigue, and stronger legs that support your independence. But the benefits don't stop there. Beets are also packed with antioxidants, which help calm inflammation that builds up in aging muscles. They contain magnesium and potassium, two minerals essential for muscle contraction, nerve function, and overall cardiovascular health. Together, this creates a perfect combination for seniors who want to stay active and reduce the risk of falls, weakness, and dependency. Let me share the story of Helen Cooper, a 70-year-old retired nurse I met 2 years ago. Helen had spent most of her life caring for others, but when she came to see me, she confessed that she no longer felt like herself.
"Doctor," she said, "my legs feel like cement blocks. I can barely make it up the stairs anymore. By the time I reach the top, I'm completely out of breath." She had also started avoiding her weekly book club walks because she felt embarrassed by how often she needed to stop and rest.
One morning, she nearly fell in her kitchen when her legs gave out after standing up too quickly. Nothing broke that day, but the scare was enough to shake her confidence deeply. Helen's tests looked fairly normal. Her blood pressure was stable, her heart was fine, but her legs simply lacked strength and stamina. That's when I suggested she begin adding half a cup of beet juice to her morning routine right before breakfast. She was skeptical at first. Beets, really? But she was willing to give it a try. 2 weeks later, Helen called me sounding more energetic than I had ever heard her. "Doctor, I made it through my entire volunteer shift at the clinic without feeling drained. I can't believe it." Within a month, she was back at her book club walks. Not the full distance yet, but she was out there, smiling and laughing with her friends again. 6 months later, Helen proudly told me she was back in her garden, planting rows of vegetables, bending and standing with ease. The heaviness in her thighs was gone, her circulation had improved, and she felt steady on her feet again. One small change, adding beets, helped give her back the life she thought she had lost. Helen's story is not unusual. Research has shown that older adults who drink beet juice before light exercise experience significantly better endurance and less fatigue. In fact, some studies even compare beet juice to sports drinks for its ability to provide energy, only without the artificial sugars and chemicals. And it doesn't take much. A half cup of beet juice, a handful of roasted beets on your salad, or even a spoonful of beet powder in a smoothie can be enough to make a noticeable difference. Think about what this means. With stronger thighs, you not only reduce your risk of falling, but you also increase your chances of staying socially active. When your legs are weak, it's easy to retreat indoors, skipping walks with friends, missing outings, and spending more and more time alone. But when your legs are strong, you move with confidence, you enjoy fresh air and sunshine, you maintain your independence, and your mood stays brighter. That's the real gift of beets. They don't just strengthen your muscles, they give you back your life. And here's something many people don't realize. When your legs are strong, your bones are stronger too. The thigh bones are the largest bones in your body, and they act like storage banks for essential minerals your brain and muscles need. Weak legs mean weaker bones, and weaker bones mean higher risk of fractures. By keeping your thigh muscles strong through better circulation and nutrient delivery, you are also protecting your bones and reducing your risk of life-changing injuries. So how can you start? The easiest way is to add beet juice to your morning routine. Just half a cup before breakfast can prime your body for the day. If you're not a fan of juice, roasted beets can be tossed into a salad, or you can blend them into a smoothie with apples and carrots to soften the flavor. Beet powder is another convenient option. Stir a spoonful into water or yogurt, and you've got a powerful circulation booster in less than a minute. Now, I want to pause and ask you something. What do your legs mean to you? When was the last time you felt truly steady, able to move without hesitation, without fear of falling? Imagine what it would feel like to walk through your neighborhood again, to garden for hours without fatigue, or to dance at your granddaughter's wedding with confidence. That's what this is really about. Not just adding years to your life, but life to your years. Of course, I know that not everyone will take this step. Some people will listen to this advice, nod politely, and then go right back to the same habits, loading up on sugary foods, ignoring circulation, and accepting weakness as an unavoidable part of aging. But you're not one of those people, are you? You're here because you want to do something different. You want to take control of your health, to add these small, simple changes to your daily routine and actually feel the results. And I promise you, if you start with something as simple as beets, you will notice the difference. So here's my challenge for you. Starting tomorrow, add just one small serving of beets to your day. It doesn't matter if it's juice, roasted slices, or powder, just begin. Then come back here in a few weeks and tell us how you feel. I want to hear your stories. Did you notice more energy on your walks? Did your legs feel lighter on the stairs? Did you feel steadier when standing up from a chair? Share your experience in the comments because your journey can inspire someone else to take that first step too. Before we close this 3-part series, let's take a moment to reflect. Over the past sessions, we've explored 5 simple but powerful foods you can add to your daily routine. Sardines, lentils, papaya, bananas, and now beets. Each one works in a unique way to protect your muscles, improve your balance, and restore your strength. Together, they form a foundation for healthier aging, for independence, and for the kind of life where you get to call the shots. Not weakness, not fragility, not fear. And let me remind you of something important. Building strength after 60 isn't about lifting heavy weights in a gym or running marathons. It's about making daily choices that support your muscles, your circulation, and your energy. It's about choosing foods that work with your body, not against it. And it's about believing that you are not too old, not too late, and not too weak to change. I've seen men and women in their 70s and even 80s turn their health around completely with these simple strategies. You can too. So, if this message has touched you, if you're ready to reclaim your strength and independence, I ask you to do 3 simple things right now. First, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a future video. I spend hours researching, writing, and recording these messages for you, and your subscription tells me it matters, that you value this knowledge and want to keep learning. Second, leave a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from, how old you are, and what challenges you've faced with muscle loss. I read every comment, and I love connecting with you personally. And third, share this video with someone you care about, a friend, a spouse, a sibling, because you never know whose life might be changed by hearing these words today. This is Dr. Martin with Senior Thrive, reminding you that aging doesn't mean giving up your strength, your balance, or your independence. With the right choices, you can feel vibrant, steady, and alive at any age. And it all starts with small steps like adding beets to your plate. So here's to your health, your strength, and your future. Until next time, stay strong, stay steady, and keep thriving.